Hey everybody, this is Joel Toppin, and this is the third video I've done recently to show the mechanics of Comancheria. And what I'm going to do in this video is we're going to show you a planning operation, but first, because of this very juicy war event that we drew during the war column phase, the end of last video, we're going to go ahead and do a take actions operation with Rancheria A. The Privo has a medicine rating of only 2, which means only 2 of these bands can actually activate in here. So what we're going to do is we are going to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, let's go ahead and do this. We're going to take a horse counter here at this guy. We're just going to equip him with horses. We're not going to take the Mahimiana with us or anything, and we're going to march them out. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 to diminish his strength, 5 to diminish his strength again, and then he's out of APs or movement points, so he's going to be marked as finished there. If he doesn't move out of there, he's going to get attacked during his last, during the next war column phase. But remember, we purchased Lords of the Plains, which means that during that war column phase, before he gets attacked, he will get an opportunity to evade. So I'm counting on that actually happening there. So hopefully he can back up out of there, and we can use him to kind of slow that column down. Okay, the next thing I want to do is I want to take 1, 2. Yeah, I think this is a worthwhile operation. We're going to go ahead and take our 3 strength band here with horses. 2, 3, 4. We'll bring horses with him. Bring 2 horses with him. I'll show you a little trick here. We'll bring 2 horses, 2 captives, and we'll march him. No Mahimiana. We'll leave our war chieftain behind, and we're going to march him out 1 movement point. We can use dash line connections without any penalty, so that's 2 movement points. And that might be different from the video I uploaded many months ago. That mechanic's gone through some modifications. So right now there's no extra movement point cost for using that line connection. The only thing is dashed line connections are not used by the enemy. They're treated as though they don't exist for the enemy. So I'm going to move 1, 2 of the 4 movement points. I'm going to spend the next 2 movement points to trade. Now to do a trade action, I have a choice. I can either spend 1 culture point and then go ahead and trade, or if I agree to trade all my captives, I don't have to lose a culture point. In other words, the colonial powers will always allow you to trade captives. They'll always ransom captives from you. So even though there's a war going on, there's trade going on. It sounds like that might be unrealistic, but you read the history and those are the sorts of things that happen. Because remember, this space here represents a large population. And so the New Mexico province, being as poor as it was in New Spain, there were settlements that would trade with the Comanches. They needed what the Comanches had. The Comanches needed what they had. And so there was a lot of back and forth, even when there's war raids and reprisals going on. So we're going to spend a number of movement points equal to the number of resources that we give up. So we're going to spend both captives, so they go back to stock. And that costs us our last 2 movement points to do that. And for each resource spent, we get to pick up a resource. So we're going to pick up trade goods for 1 and food for the other. Take those 2 with us. Check that. Let's take 2 trade goods. I got a feeling we might need some rerolls. So we take possession of those. Now I brought an extra horse along. I could have traded the horse, but I didn't have enough movement points to do that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually spend a horse to get 1 more movement point and move 1 additional space before he gets marked as finished. And we'll stop there in the place of the bison. Now he does not gain possession of the bison, so we got to keep them separate from one another. All right, in order to get possession of the bison, I got to spend 3 movement points there. Okay, so that will end that part of the activation. We've done 2. We've spent 2 of our activations here with Rancheria A. We can now spend APs if we want to activate this guy and do something else with him, or activate this guy and do something else with him. We could go ahead and do that. I think I'm not going to spend any APs here. I think I'm just going to be comfortable where we're at. So we'll go ahead and stop there. We now move into advancing the operations counter down the track. We go to the operation cleanup phase. And because these bands here are not in a rancheria, they do not relinquish their possessions. They maintain their possessions. And we don't have to roll for rancherias that have finished bands in them because there are no rancherias with finished bands in them. So we don't roll for the guys that are in open space. So what we're going to do now is just draw a success token out. We drew 3 enemy APs. We identify who's the actor, and yeah, well, I think Dianza says it's always going to be the West. Yeah, the West always activates while Dianza's in play, so we didn't need to roll there. But let's see if any of these markers flip, and of course that one flips over. All right, so they're going to spend all 3 APs to do the topmost one here, which is subjugate. All right, and they're going to look along their yellow tracks for a tribe to subjugate, and finding none, they will then do something else. So, if no eligible tribe to target, and the enemy has an available settlement counter that could be placed should a settlement instruction be resolved, they will do that instead. So they're going to do a settlement action. So with a settlement action, what that does is you place 1 available settlement counter belonging to the active enemy into a round map space. Any bison in the space is returned to stock. Must comply with stacking. So, can't go up here. It could go here or here. And you have to use the yellow line connections. It has to be attached to an pre-existing enemy space. So, because it's going to violate stacking here and here, what we're going to do is we are going to place him here. Now, let's imagine for a moment that these 2 spaces were both empty. You would have to die roll between the 2. Let's say that it was between the Rio Grande space and this space in Llano Estacado, where it could go either here or here. The tiebreaker would be the lowest area value, the lowest number in the TP. So that would be the tiebreaker there. If the numbers are co-equal, then you do a die roll to determine which one. So the settlement goes there, so that's going to make future raids a little bit tougher. Okay, so that instruction is resolved. The token went back into the draw cup. This gets shifted around. And now we're back to the war column phase. So draw out a war card, and south and west both move. Now west isn't going to move because it's already in a space. So it's just going to stay where it is. South one is going to move. It could go either here or here. So 1 to 3, it's the left. All right. Moves there. It does not diminish in strength. So it just keeps plugging away. Okay, we pull out another war card. Check the event. Fast moving column. Draw another war card and check for movement, but do not check for another event. So we pull another one out, and the west would move, but not the south one. So, okay. Next, because of Lords of the Plains, in step 2, I get to see if this guy evades. So we rolled rolled a 1. Now, if notice that this guy here, he has trade goods, but he's not the one making the die roll. In order to use trade goods to benefit a band, the trade goods have to be possessed by that band. So because he doesn't actually possess those trade goods, he doesn't get the reroll, so he's going to face a battle here. It's not a rancheria, so there's not going to be any military point cost to this. So the band here is going to get a +2 for its strength, -1 because he's finished, +1 because he's got horses, and the horsemanship culture card gives him a +1. So he's going to be just +2 on his roll. -2 because of the strength of the war column, so he really needs to roll a 6 here. 3 is not going to do it, so he goes down in strength. Just put him back in here. And from here on out, we can't possibly win, so goodbye. So that plan kind of backfired. So see how quickly you can lose bands in the game. But they did slow the column down. Oh, you know what we should have done? We should have actually still rolled against his strength, and Rolling for his strength, it is. I'm trying to remember if it was less than or equal to. This mechanic has gone through a number of iterations. All right, it is less than or equal to, or excuse me, it has to be less than, excuse me, then it will diminish in strength. So I rolled a 5, so his strength didn't get impacted. Okay, so that's the war column phase. Now we're back to operation selection here, and we need to let's do another take actions. I want to show you planning, but I want to do something first. All right, we'll activate family A again. And this time we're just going to take, let's see, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, let's just take these guys. Our Mahimiana, we'll take him along too. We'll leave the guns behind in case this guy needs them. We're going 1, 2. We'll spend our third one to raid the enemy space there. We roll a die. The 3 is greater than the Mahimiana's medicine, so no advantage there. We draw 2 tokens out. Of course, no successes. Now, we should have brought our guns with us, because with the guns, what we could have done is possibly gotten a redraw. But we didn't bring them. Should have done it. Crap. All right, so here we go. Don't have to roll on the table. Donza means all. It's going to be the West that does it. So, let's see. There's no token in the 6th spot, so when I roll a 6, nothing flips over. Nothing happens there. So 4 points get spent. 3 to do the top one. The last one gets saved here on the track. Man. The culture, what that does is it drops our culture by 1, and then an additional 1 if there is a settlement in the same territory as a rancheria. We don't have that condition at this time, so we only lose 1 culture point there. So that's basically a culture point attack, and there's another one coming up right on its heels. I really wanted to draw at least 1 success there. But I only have enough movement points now to get back to the base, and I think that that would be a good decision. So we're going to play it safe. Go back to base. Ah, that stinks. I got 1 more activation. I could send out. I could be aggressive here and send this guy out. But without the Mahimiana in possession, it's not going to do me any good. So, yeah. It's not going to do what I wanted it to do. I wanted the Mahimiana to get some success so we could get his medicine rolling up, you know. So, nothing doing there. Do I want to spend my last AP to activate, say, this guy down here? Do something with him. Might be worthwhile. But then again, it might not. I would really like to take one of these cards into hand. If I take the odds into hand, I can place any face at west peace instruction. Okay. There aren't any peace instructions face up, but it would get that thing out of play before doing another passage of time. Mounted Society, I think, is a better purchase. All right, we're going to go ahead and stop here. We'll do the operation cleanup. We advance this thing down. Do the operation cleanup. We roll for Rancheria A, and we didn't roll. Activating only 1 band means it's less likely the enemy's going to do something there. So dodge that. Pull a success token out. Again, man, all the success tokens are in there. You'd think with drawing 4 tokens out, we wouldn't be drawing all these APs, but here we go again. All right, there's 3 APs here to spend. We spend them all plus the 1 that was saved, and that's gonna do the culture attack. So just like that, culture back down to 2, and then this all goes up. All right, we got to get rid of Dion's. He's just a problem. One surefire way to get rid of him would do a passage of time. And it's a reasonably tempting thing to do, but I'm not prepared to do it just yet. Let's stick with the original plan and do a planning operation. But first, war columns. Get rid of that. Here we go. Of course. The only two I don't want to move, and those are the two that move. We haven't had very bad luck with that so far. Strength does not diminish. Man. He comes up here. Strength does not diminish, and there's going to be a fight now between our ally and this guy. Oh, boy. Okay, so here we go. There's going to be a battle here between the ally and this guy. We got to roll 6. +2 for having the ally. They just get a straight up +2. -1 for that. So 5 or 6, we win the battle. We don't. Now, this die roll did not concern an individual band, so we could actually use our trade goods here. Do we want to do that? I'm going to say no, because then we'd have to roll another 5 or 6. So let's just go ahead and take our lumps. Basically, it ends the alliance is what that does. Basically, they're no longer our ally, so that kind of messes things up for us. All right, well, that's a shame. And then they just keep on rolling, man. They just keep on rolling. You know what I forgot to do, though, is forgot to get the event. So hang on. It's another draw them off. After a band is marked as finished in a space adjacent to a war space, move the war column into the band space, but not across dashed lines. Then place the band into the nearest Rancheria's resources box. So you can get the band going off the wrong way, is what that thing does. Unfortunately, that's a great thing to do, but what we need to do is take actions in order to take advantage of that. And we want to do planning now. So you see the decision making in the game is just really hard. Okay, I'm going to be disciplined. I'm going to stick with my original plan. We'll do a planning operation. Okay, ordinarily what we do is take the success tokens out of the Mahimiana's boxes here, distribute it between the operations track and the Paraibo's box. For each marker that goes in the Paraibo's box, the Paraibo increases his medicine. Those markers then go into out of play until passage of time, but the markers that come over to the operations track do cycle back into the cup, so that's a good thing. We're not going to be able to do any of that here, so we're stuck with headman actions. If we rolled a 2 for this guy, we could get 2 headman actions. I'm not going to chance that. I'm just going to take his 1 guaranteed and not roll a die. And I'm going to use that to purchase... Crap. Purchase 1 AP. I want to do our culture thing, but we just don't have enough culture points to risk it. So culture point is going to go up by 1. Somehow we got to stop those raids before they hit, because at the very minimum it's going to drop our military points down. But what I'm going to do here then is I'm going to use the second headman action to spend 2 APs and purchase Mounted Society. So we have no more APs. Cost a headman action to either get or spend APs during the planning operation. So that's in our hand, and we can then immediately spend that to move somebody out of the way. Now you can use these cards at any time except during passage of time. So we can wait and see what the next war event and war movement is before we decide to do that, maybe to get this guy out of harm's way. All right, so next thing that happens is, and we should have relinquished possession earlier of the counters for this guy, but what happens is every finished band gets reduced in strength by 1. So he goes down to a 1 strength band, and the guy that we left out in space, he goes back, whoops, he goes back in here and becomes a 2 strength unfinished band. Okay. All right, well, once that's all done there, we can move our rancherias. This is the normal way that you would move rancherias. Each rancheria can move a number of spaces equal to the combined strength of its bands in the resources box. So this one here, B, can move up to 2 spaces, but I'm trying to take over this region, and this war column's really got things messed up. So what I'm going to do with him instead is I'm going to move him into Palo Duro Canyon and just leave him there. He doesn't fulfill our war aims or victory conditions in there because Palo Duro Canyon is not considered part of any territory, but it gets him out of harm's way. And I could potentially then do the same thing with this guy up here So what I'm going to go ahead and do, if I put them both in there, what's going to happen is the war columns are going to go after this band. He's the only one that they can see, so they'll start going after him. Otherwise, they'll just start staying where they're at and diminishing in strength. But I can't. If I stay in here, my culture actions don't do me any good in there because this is not a territory. But I do have that get out of jail free move your Rancheria card, so it may just behoove me to go and spend. He could go up to 4 spaces, so he's going to go 1, 2, and 3 into Lower Arkansas. And that'll get him out of the way of this big thing. This big thing can move around, and by the time it gets here, that'll give us ample opportunity for maybe some way of stopping it with selling off captives or something. Got to get rid of them. All right, that will be our movement. Then the enemy gets to do 1 free action. It's going to be the west because of De Anza. So he's just going to roll a die. This flips over. Whoops. Only the bottom one was supposed to flip over. Great. The one that flips over is culture. Wonderful. All right, so settle. Comes over, it gets resolved, and so they build a new settlement. Where are they going to build that? They're going to build it right there. Oh, boy. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in trouble. We are in real trouble. This game can go south on you really quick, and that De Anza event really put us behind the 8 ball. Okay. That concludes that. Now we go to the Operation Cleanup. And we don't have any finished bands, so we just pull a token out, flip it. Again. Oh, no. Okay. And the 4th one does flip over. That was good. That was a culture attack. So the 3 get used to do another culture attack on us. We don't have a Rancheria in the same territory, but the next one they build will go either go here or here. Yeah, we dodged a bullet there. So culture's back down to 1. All of that work and culture's back down to 1. Dang it. That's awful. That was unfortunate, folks. That's about as unfortunate as we could hope for. I mean, all of the success tokens are in there, and we have not pulled 1 this entire second phase of the game. That's bad. All right. This thing should have moved up. I forgot to move that guy. Okay, so now we are in danger of being forced to do another passage of time, and we still haven't taken care of these tribes down here. So we'll conclude the video with 1 more war column phase. So let's get rid of that. Hoping for a little luck here. Up, reshuffle. All right, we pull 1 out. Movement. South doesn't move. West moves. And it goes down in strength. Okay. Gets discarded, and the event is, oh yes, surrender captive. So we got to decide which one gets. Oops, I'm not sure what happened there. We lost our token. There it is. Okay, had to back things up a second there. Okay, so surrender captives. So that's a way to get rid of. We can get rid of our most dangerous threat here. The question is, which one's the most dangerous one? That one up there, which is quite a ways away from this guy, because he's got to go all the way around. He can't use that dash connection. Or do we get rid of that one there? I think what we're going to go ahead and do is probably try to get rid of this one here. I really would like to do a culture action, but I don't know if I want to risk the operation momentum. And with this thing in play, I think we'll be doing a take actions operation. And I think we're going to do that with B, family B. So we're going to go ahead and take them. Oh, we can't. They don't have any captives. Of course, that's just how it works, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we do have enough movement points to take our cheapo 1 strength dude from A and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whoops, 5. Or would it have been faster to go 1, 2, 3. No, it's a bit the same distance. Okay, so he's just going to do that. He's going to go here and he's going to mark himself as finished. He's supposed to bring horses with him, dummy. All right, he's done there. He's going to spend his captives. We no longer have captives now. We need to go get some more. All right. Captives have been spent, and this war is over, Jack. So we can go ahead and put these guys. This goes back to the bottommost space here, and so that thread is done. And of course, and then, yeah. We basically sacrifice his band. This band's going to die due to stacking limitations during the cleanup phase because he can't stay stacked here. It's overstacked. But we were able to end a war with that. So it's not all bad. This guy here just doesn't have enough movement points to get done what needs to get done, so we're just going to pass with him and do nothing. Well, we could go hunt that buffalo, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. If we take our war chieftain with us, the cost to hunt is less. It's only 2 movement points. So we can go out 1, 2, 3, and then 4 back and get some bison. That'll help us to start getting new bands during the next passage of time. So, okay, we roll a die now to Operation Cleanup. Of course, we roll a 1. So topmost instruction does get triggered. Hang on, let me relinquish ownership here. Possession. Okay, subjugate happens. There's no one to subjugate, so they are going to build a settlement. It'll either be between this space or this one, and because the southern one has a lower value, it builds here. So the Spanish in New Mexico have really handed it to us during the governorship of Juan Bautista de Anza, which is historically accurate, actually. Okay, that wasn't good. Another culture attack coming up, so we got to get rid of this thing. We might just have to do a passage of time, just get rid of that card. Just, oh, the ugliness. Okay, next we're going to pull a success token out. Please let it be a success. Nope. All right, I'm starting to doubt. Okay, they are in there. Okay. Just want to make sure Vassal's not messing up. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I need to roll 1 here. Of course, roll a 6. All right, so another culture attack happens. So we are now officially out of culture points, and we are in real danger of losing the game live on the internet. Okay, that ends that particular phase. Now we go back to war column phase, and you can see just how the game has this, oh, just one more turn kind of an element to it. What I will do probably next, I'm going to go ahead and stop the video here, but what I would then do at this point is I think I would spend Mounted Society from my hand, even though I don't have an AP to take it back in hand. I would spend it to get this guy back into here, into Upper Arkansas, and then on my next action, do a culture action to get my culture points back up to 2. 1 for this guy being in a territory, and 1 more for actually controlling that territory. War columns do not impede control of a territory, only actual settlements. In fact, you'll notice you can move through war columns without any hindrance. These are very, very large spaces here, folks. It's just that if you stop in one of those spaces, you become a target. So, all right, well, that's just another look at the game. If you really like what you saw here, the game does require some more pre-orders before we can get a production slot from GMT Games. So head over to gmtgames.com. Go to their P500 tab. If you like this game, you can pledge it on P500. Your credit card will not be charged until the game is just about ready to ship. So it's not like Kickstarter where you get charged months before the game comes to you. It's usually only a couple weeks, if that. And yeah, we really appreciate the support. It is once again a solitaire game. There's a number of scenarios in it. The rules, we're trying to make them a lot more polished than with Navajo Wars. It's got to feel similar to Navajo Wars, but there's definitely some new stuff going on in this game. So I hope you like what you saw here. Again, I'm Joel Toppin, and thanks for watching.